as my conscience fell, a silly little lie. It didn't mean much, but it lingers still in the corners of my mind. Still you call me to walk on the edge of this world, to spread my dreams and fly. But the future's so far, my heart is so frail, I think I'd rather stay inside. But you love me anyway. It's like nothing in life that I've ever known. Yes, you love me anyway. Oh Lord, how you love me, how you love me. It took more than my strength to simply be still, to seek but never find. All the reasons we change, the reasons I doubt, and why do loved ones have to die? But you love me anyway. It's like nothing in life that I've ever known. Yes, you love me anyway. Oh Lord, how you love me. I am the thorn in your crown, but you love me anyway. I am the sweat from your brow, but you love me anyway. I am the nail in your wrist, but you love me anyway. I am Judas Iscariot, but you love me anyway. See, now I am the man who yelled out from the crowd for your blood to be spilled on this earth-shaking ground. Yes, then I turned away with a smile on my face, with this sin in my heart, tried to bury your grace. And then alone in the night, I still called out for you, so ashamed of my life, my life, my life. But you love me anyway. It's like nothing in life that I've ever known. Yes, you love me anyway. Oh Lord, how you love me. Yes, you love me. Yes, you love me. How you love me. How you love me. How you love me.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know.
Good evening. Welcome to our evening with Reverend Dewey Miller. For those of you that may not know Dewey, I think most everybody does. Dewey was the pastor at Howe in Pretty Prairie from 2001 to 2010. 10 years he was here. So we did a lot of ministry together and lots of things that we are actually still doing in our churches that Dewey initiated. We have Coffee House here in Halloween that Dewey and Shannon started, and they're a huge part of who we are. And so we're really excited to hear what Dewey has to say about his mission and ministry at Kuandaa. I know a little bit about it, but I'm excited to hear what's been going on with them. So let's open with prayer. God, we give you thanks for this time together as we catch up with an old friend and learn about what's going on with Dewey and his family, and learn about the ministries that are going on through Kuandaa in Uganda and around the world. We know, God, you have placed this ministry on his heart, and it has spread to so many people, and we just are excited to hear what new things are happening, and we just ask that you would bless this time. Bless this time with all of us here together. Help us to grow in our love for mission and ministry so that we can help further this mission. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Hi, everybody. I am really nervous. I have been nervous all day. Is there a Welcome Back Dewey song? Well, the first thing I want to do, thank you for letting me come. And Paula and Trish, thanks for... I reached out to Paula and Trish because both of them spent time on our board, Kuandaa International board. And we're kind of at a big turning point in our ministry. And so I just feel like I need to get out and tell people what's going on and where we've been. But you guys are special. Special. Since we left here, it's been almost, we left in 2011, so 14 years. And it seems like a long time, but at the same time, it doesn't feel all that long ago. Like to see you all and smile at you, and most of you smiled at me too, so that felt pretty good. I don't want you to get a big head, but I have been in Evansville as a pastor at Central United Methodist now for 7 years. I had a couple stops between here and Evansville. But life was never as good as it was when we were here. This is special for us, and it really makes it a lot better that Shannon's not here with me. Because she just brings me down. Hey, Corey, give us that first picture. Here's a little catch up. There's me and Shannon. That was a couple of years ago. We were on vacation. Does anybody know where we were? It was Paul Bunyan's cook shanty in Wisconsin Dells. If you're ever up there, go to that restaurant. They have a great breakfast, family style, and You'll eat breakfast and then go back to your room and take a nap. Molly, don't change yet. Oh, I don't have to turn around. It's right there. Molly, shortly after we left, Molly, I don't know, she graduated high school, and then I think we were here one more year. No? I don't remember. Morgan, when did you graduate?
2007.
Well, that means she would have graduated in 2008, doesn't it? Was she 1 year or 2 years behind you?
Two.
So she was 09. So we were here 2 more years? Anyway, Molly got married shortly after we left here, within I don't know how long it was. Because I'm the dad, I don't have to remember. She got married, and Molly has not been able to have children of her own. So she has started collecting children from other people. Wait, that's not Corey. Justin, give me the other. There's Molly and most of her family. The little boy, KJ, she picked up Molly for most of. Molly was director of kinder care in Greenwood, which is suburban Indianapolis. And this little guy, when he was 2, I think, would get dropped off, and Molly decided nobody cared about him. So she made him a mission, and she has him about half the time. His mom has him about half the time. That was the first one. Then Molly and Josh became foster parents. So these 4 little girls, you can change it now, Justin. There they are. Now, they're all at least a year older than that now. And their little sister is also with Molly. So Molly has this little tiny 3-bedroom house, little tiny bedrooms, and she has her and Josh and 7 kids in there. That's kind of our family update. I'm not done with the family update. You can say a little prayer for Molly and her family tonight. Molly has been fostering these girls for like 2 years, almost 2 years. And so the court is very close to terminating their mom's rights so that Molly can adopt them, which is what we all want. Because they're cute, but they're really sweet. I told some of you this before. I have the best grandpa name in the world. I guarantee it. Anybody want to? Well, there aren't a lot of grandpas in here, are there? What's yours, Paul? GPS. GPS?
Yeah, it's not like the navigating GPS, but I'm Grandpa Sir.
Grandpa Sir. What's your name, Dave? Grandpa. Jesse, do you have a good name? Papa? I am Old Daddy. I have the best grandpa name. And when I show up and these little girls, the girl in the back, that's Janae. She started first grade yesterday. Jania, which is on the right in the kind of orangey color, brown color, She started kindergarten this week. They're one a year. So they're 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And what else was I going to say? Oh, let's say a prayer for Molly, because their mom is kind of throwing a fit today, and we didn't realize this until Molly's caseworker called her this morning and said, we have asked the court to, I don't know what the right phrase is, to create a protective order for you and your family, and because she has made some kind of threat. And so that's a big part of why Shannon's not here tonight. She's kind of nanny to the kids. And so we moved to Evansville 7 years ago, January 1st, 2019. And 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago exactly, we bought a house so that we can retire. We bought a house about 20 miles from where Molly lives. So that's our family catch-up. If you want to know any more than that, you'll have to sign up online. There is a monthly subscription to get more information. So when I was your pastor, we did a bunch, by a bunch it was 6 or 7, maybe 8 mission trips to Jamaica. And a bunch of you went with me. Morgan did, and Trish did. Did you guys? You did. You even went on that one that we almost fell off the mountain. Yes. Did you go? I know you go. You did 3 with me. You did 1 with me. I'm right.
Me too.
You only did 1?
You couldn't
What? There, I got to the Morgan saturation stage. I just felt like we were coming to the end of, or at least that I was coming to the end of that. I'm a firm believer in trying to hear what God is saying and hopefully being smart enough to follow what he's saying. And I didn't understand why. I mean, there were some personal reasons why it felt like time to stop going to Jamaica, but I really felt like I was supposed to go to Africa, which was weird because I didn't know anybody in Africa. I didn't know anybody who went to Africa, but I started paying attention, and it was 2007. I was still your pastor the first time I went to Africa. Do you all remember that? I probably tried to teach you a song when I came home. Do you remember the song? If you don't remember the song, you're not going home tonight. So be thinking about it.
Too distracted by the shirt you were wearing.
It was probably a good African shirt. When I was there, I met this one young man, Joseph Kanyike, and Joseph is one of the great people in my life. He's smart and he has discernment, and Joseph has this incredible story. And Joseph said to me on one of our last days there, I was there with just 6 pastors, no pastors that I knew. It was just me and 5 others. And Joseph grabbed my hand I think the humidity just went up in here. Joseph grabbed my hand. This is a cultural thing, at least in Uganda. If you're having a private conversation, you hold hands and you walk off by yourself. And that was shocking to me because I never had a conversation in private with a man that I felt comfortable holding their hand. But Joseph held my hand and he said, Dewey, you've got to come back here. You've got to come back here and teach us. And I tried to figure out how I could go back, and it never worked. I don't know if you all were aware of that I was trying to find other people who were going, and it took till 2013 that I got Chad convinced. By then, Chad had come out of this church, Chad Yoder, and he was pastoring a couple of small churches. Was he pastoring that time where you're pastoring now? Brimfield? On Wawaka. And I called Chad and I said, Chad, well, here's what happened. I was praying, God, why haven't you helped me find a trip to go back to Africa? Because I really think I'm supposed to go back to Africa. And the message I got from God that time was, just because no one else is going doesn't let you off the hook. If I called you to go, you have to go. And so I thought, Chad is young. He's inexperienced. He still thinks I know what I'm doing. So I called Chad. And I said, hey, Chad, I'm going to go to Africa. Do you want to go with me? And Chad, he was much stupider in those days. He said, yes, what are we going to do? And I said, I don't know. We had a meeting. By then, I was pastoring over in Argus, and we had a meeting, and we gathered some people. I can't remember who all we had together. I don't remember. And we sort of made up a plan. Paula might have been there. Did you come over to Argus for a... Anyway, I will really try to get this moving quicker. We came up with this plan, and this plan was we were going to connect with these pastors in Uganda who essentially have no training, no education. Many of them are just illiterate. They can't read. We had on that first trip, this happened to Chad, but I love telling the story. A pastor, after one of the sessions, came up to Chad and said, I'm so glad you came. Before you came, I only had 4 sermons. And after I preached those 4, I would just start over in the rotation. But now I have a whole bunch of sermons. So there's really this need, and we decided that since it was me and Chad, and there was one other guy who went with us, a choir director from my church, and we decided that if the 3 of us could each mentor 5 pastors, we could have a year-round connection and just mentor 5 pastors. And so the instruction to Joseph Kanyike, was, we're coming, we'll be there on these dates, you just gather 15 pastors, 3 times 5. I had to do it because, Chad was stupid. I had to do the math. We got there that first day, and I don't know, Matt, if you have been in that downstairs room at Chireka. That's where we were meeting because there was nothing upstairs. And we walked in this room expecting 15 pastors, maybe sitting in a circle in this little tiny room, half the size of this one, maybe. There were over 50 pastors in there. And so we knew that 3 pastors, 3 days, 5 pastors, mentor all year wasn't going to work. And we had to revamp. Now, I have a million little stories to tell you. Let me tell you one more about that first trip. There was this church, and I don't know if it was John Chaviri, who now is our Uganda national director. There was this sort of prominent church that I can't even remember the name of in the town of Jinja. Jinja is, when you're there, it feels like a city. It feels like a big city. But it's right on the Nile, at Lake Victoria. So the Nile begins at sort of the mouth of Lake Victoria. And so Jinja has become kind of a tourist area. There are lots of, that's the only time we ever see any white people, is when we're in Jinja or at the airport, coming or going. So it's kind of a touristy place, and we were in this church that's kind of prominent, and I had just taught some lesson, and we were taking a break, and I decided I'm going to walk outside the church. It was really weird compared to the churches we visit now, Matt. I keep talking to Matt because Matt is one of our pastors. He's one of our board members and just got back from Uganda. Has it been a month?
No.
Couple weeks?
Well, 2 weeks ago, Monday.
So a little more than 2 weeks. This was like a real church. I mean, it was like a building with a floor. And a lot of our churches are wood poles and a metal roof, and that's it. And sometimes the fancy ones, they make walls out of cow dung. Those are the fancy ones. But this was in the city, and so I decided during this break I'm going to walk out on the porch and just watch the city, because there were pedestrians, there were cars. It was busy and exciting and different than America, but sort of familiar. And this one pastor came out and stood next to me, and I guess he couldn't tell I was trying to get away from everyone, because he said to me, you should know about this organization I lead. And he told me all about it, and I went, a lot. And he said, it's because young people need to know Jesus. And I said, well, yes, I agree with that. Young people, everybody needs to know Jesus. And he pointed to these 2 girls walking by on the street. And he said, like those 2 girls right there, they really need Jesus. And I thought maybe he was doing something I would do, like setting me up, like maybe he knows those girls. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, those are Muslim girls. And I said, well, yeah, Muslim girls need Jesus just like everybody else. And he said, we should go preach to them. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with how often in that word, country Indiana, rural Indiana, how often you run into Muslims. I hadn't much in my life. And I didn't know what to say to a Muslim. I'd never witnessed to a Muslim before. But Joseph, this was his name, Joseph, he said, let's go talk to them. And he took off. He didn't wait for me. He went down and he engaged those girls right away, down right on the sidewalk. And there I was, standing there, not wanting to get myself in trouble, not wanting to do something that would be culturally wrong. Just wanting to be away from people for 10 minutes is what I wanted. But at the same time, I'm the leader of the group that's putting on the seminar in the church that has inspired this guy to go talk to these girls. I have to be a good example. So finally I walked down and I tried to just join the conversation in the background. And Joseph wouldn't hear of it. Joseph said, Pastor Dewey, why don't you tell these girls about Jesus? And I have no idea what I said. I really don't. It was a long time ago, and I'm old. I don't know what I said. I think they didn't. I didn't convince them. I don't think there was any great. There's not a great ending to this story, like you would hear if Billy Graham told this story. But I said, at the end, I said, well, would it at least be okay if I pray with you? And they said, sure. I said, I think we should hold hands. And we made a little circle there on the street. And as I started to pray, these two girls, they knelt down. Now, this is kind of a cultural thing. Women especially, but men do this too. Because I'm a pastor, I had some kind of authority, and they were showing respect, and it was prayer. But it really bothered me. It never happened to me like that before. And so I stopped praying, and I said, oh no, please stand up, which I messed up everything. I should not have said, please stand up. They stood up. We prayed. I said, we got to get back into the seminar. And Joseph said, yeah, let's go. And we went back in, and Chad taught something, and I didn't think much of it. It was a life-changing day, though. Joseph today is, now I told you about Joseph Kanyike. This is Joseph Akena. You're going to get to meet them both in a minute. Joseph Akena is our director of evangelism and church planting, because he does stuff like that all the time. One of those sessions that day in Jinja, I said, I didn't even plan to say this, it was not in the notes, but there were 30 pastors in the room, and there were a lot of church leaders who were not pastors. And so I said, sometimes God calls people who are not pastors to plant a church. And if God's calling you to plant a church, don't wait for permission. I give you permission. And 6 months later, Akena, this guy who made me go down and preach to Muslims, he sent me an email with pictures of the 3 churches that he had started and the pastors that were pastoring those 3 churches. That's one of my favorite stories. That was in 2013, and before we left on that trip, Joseph Kanyike, who wants me to give you all greetings tonight, especially people from Pretty Prairie. Pretty Prairie people were especially faithful and partnered with Kenyike when he was in school. And you How people heard about Joseph too, and I don't remember, probably supported him as well. But something about Mama Paula is pretty important to Joseph. Joseph serves today as our director of planning and logistics. He plans all of our trips, all the mission work we do. He keeps track of, the churches that have been planted. Which at this point is over 100 churches that Kuandaa has planted. Matt just got back from the most recent trip to Uganda. How many were on your team?
There were 8 of us.
8. 3 pastors?
Yes.
We have another trip coming up in less than a month. No, exactly a month. A month from yesterday, or it's probably 5 weeks from yesterday. I'm going with 2 other pastors. We're flying to Uganda, but then we're driving to Kenya, where we'll be doing the second round of training sessions in 2 locations in Busia, Kenya. There is another group going at the same time of 3 pastors who are doing training events in Uganda. Then 1 week later, there's a larger group that's meeting me and another one of the first pastors in Nairobi, Kenya. And this will get you all excited. You know who this will get excited? This will get John Gilmore excited. Because after we do a training event in Nairobi, we're flying to Tanzania, and we're going to do 2 training events on Zanzibar. Doesn't that sound exciting? We're staying on the beach. I can tell you stories, but I want you to see sort of in practice, sort of in real, it's not in real time because it's a video. I have 2 videos to show you. The first one comes from Pakistan. Chad, a couple of years ago, I think it's 23, 22 maybe, Chad felt like we ought to go to Pakistan. And I thought, well, he went to Africa with me, I should go to Pakistan with him. So we went to Pakistan. And it turned out that some good things have happened in Pakistan. Munir Akash made this video. So I would just, Munir in Pakistan, in his bedroom, made what I think's a pretty cool video. So, watch the screen.
Millions of Christians in Pakistan are toiling under the scorching sun in harsh conditions at brick factories, alongside their small children. Trapped in these factories, they labor for wages they never receive, deprived of freedom. Yet, God has answered their prayers through Kuandaa Ministries International, which is working to preach among them and bring them hope. Kuandaa is meeting both their spiritual and physical needs, sharing the love of Jesus Christ through church planting services. By the grace of God, they have planted 20 churches this year, led by evangelist Munir Akash, the director of Kuandaa Ministries in Pakistan. Here are some of the pastors and evangelists leading this mission. Pastor Jamshed Bricks Kiln Baiwala, Evangelist Mukhtar Bricks Kiln Islam Nagar, Pastor Tariq Gokuval, Pastor Asif Kuni Seriala, Pastor Tariq Dijkat, Pastor Adil Satara Colony, Evangelist Yasser Dijkat, Pastor Emmanuel Samandari, Evangelist Gulfam Kush Hale Town, Pastor Arshad Evangelist Ayasia Bashir Guna, Pastor Shokat Raza Malkanwala, Evangelist Ramesh Chakjumamar, Evangelist Lisa Tariq Gona Road Bricks Kiln, Evangelist Praveen Mukhtar Sixchak, H.M. Taj Assad Town Jaranwala, Abid Godra, Evangelist Liaquat Baiwala, Evangelist Nomi Five Garaya, Shahid Kaleem Sharon Wala Jaranwal. Under the leadership of Munir Akash and with the support of directors Chad and Dewey from the United States, Kuandaa Ministries is planning more church plants, continuing to spread the message of salvation through Jesus Christ across Pakistan.
Hi, I'm Chad Yoder. I'm one of the directors for Kuandaa International, and I'm here to bring you an update out of Pakistan. Our friend Munir Akash has been hard at work with a team of people who love God and are extremely faithful despite some hard times over the last few months. And so I'm really thrilled to tell you that we now have 15 church plants in Pakistan. Most of these are in brick kiln communities, folks who are the lowest sort of social class there is, working for nothing and sort of stuck in their environment. And this is exactly the kind of place that we're taking the gospel and planting churches. And so we've had church planters come alongside us, pastors and leaders, and Munir has been leading that group and continuing the work. It's just been exploding. It's been a ton of fun to watch God at work in Pakistan. And so that's our update. We're thrilled with how things are going and what God's doing, and we're really excited to see what God's going to do next and how we can bring more hope and life and abundant life to folks in brick kilns, to folks in Pakistan as a whole. And so thanks so much for all your prayers and support. Things are going so well. So continue to pray, continue to support, and we're going to continue to lift up Munir and the team in prayer and support so that more churches are planted, the gospels continue to be preached throughout Pakistan and the entire world. See ya.
Hi gang, I'm Dewey Miller. I'm a pastor in Indiana in the United States, and I'm also one of the directors of Kuandaa International. Kuandaa is a ministry that seeks to train and equip pastors and other church leaders for effective ministry. And one of the exciting things that has been happening is the partnership that we have developed with Munir Akash as our director in Pakistan. Let me tell you that Kuandaa had our first mission, an in-person mission in Pakistan earlier this year, 2023, where Munir facilitated for us crusades and training events and worship services. It was a wonderful time, and there was effective ministry all the way around. Since then, we've been continuing this partnership as we have done periodic video training events, or rather online training events with pastors and leaders in Pakistan. And as a result of that, there have been nearly 20 churches planted just since May. And the exciting news is that we're anticipating maybe as many as 10 more in the first few months of next year. So we're excited about this partnership and the work of Kuandaa in Pakistan, and with the help of our partner Munir, we're looking forward to great things and moving forward with the gospel of Christ.
Greeting in Jesus to all who are watching. My name is Munir Akash, and working with Kuandaa International Ministry since 2021 to spread the gospel in Pakistan. Through God's grace and tireless dedication for Pastor Dewey and Pastor Chad, we have been able to plant 20 churches. Each one bring hope and life to community in need. I'm honored to part of the journey, and I look forward to sharing impact and support of our working in Pakistan. God bless you all.
Here are some clips of our pastors and evangelists preaching in home churches, prayer meetings, and worship gatherings. We humbly ask that you remember us in your prayers and join us in our mission to save souls for Christ.
If you ever tried to have a conversation with Munir, you would be really impressed by that spiel he gave. Munir doesn't speak English, and I love Munir, but he's always trying to call on the phone. And I see when he calls, and I just don't answer, because I think, how can you have a phone conversation? I don't speak Urdu. He doesn't speak English. So he making that video was a good thing for him. Let me tell you a little bit about the situation in Pakistan. We were in Pakistan for about 10 days, and we did all those things that you saw. The most impactful thing, I think, to Chad and I both, was the brick kilns. I don't know how familiar you might be. Pakistan is, the name of Pakistan is the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. It's legal to be a Christian, but it's hard. Something around 2 to 3% of Pakistanis are Christians. And they're all sort of left in this lower, Chad talked about a lower social class. It's a little more than, it's an economic situation. There was one young lady that I was texting with for a while after we got back from that trip, and she was living at home with her parents, and so I texted her, what do your parents do? She was in school, and she said, my dad is a sweeper. And I had no idea what that was, so I said, what does a sweeper do? and she had a little emoji of a broom that she sent me, and the answer was, he sweeps the streets. And that's kind of what you can expect as a Christian. There's no moving up, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And these brick kilns are essentially slavery. It's set up, the example that was given to me is the best that I can share with you, is that the Christians have no money because they sweep the streets or clean the sewers or some job that nobody else will do. And then when there's a medical emergency, they don't have money to pay for the surgery or the care that's necessary. So they have to borrow the money, and they borrow the money from somebody who's wealthy because he owns a brick kiln. And to repay the loan, they work in this brick kiln, and the owner of the brick kiln controls the price of the bricks, how much you get for each brick, and how many bricks are needed. It's essentially they never get out. And we were there one day in one of these brick kilns, and they're Christian people, and I said to Munir, where do these people go to church? Because they live at this brick kiln. Their whole life is, their families, their small children, everything is right here at this brick kiln. And I said, where do they go to church? And one of the guys who was with us that day, he said, well, they come to my church. And I said, well, where is your church? And he said, it's about 7 kilometers. It was 110 degrees that day. There was not a bicycle, motorcycle, car anywhere in sight. I said, those people are not walking 7 miles in this heat. Where are they going to church? He said, well, we think of them as part of our church, but they don't really come. And that's when we got the idea we should bring church to them. The update of the story is that now there are officially 22 churches in Pakistan. We kind of hit a snag because the church that Munir was pastoring, which was sort of our headquarters, our home base, they got kicked out of the space they were in. The landlord, he owns property, so you know he's a Muslim, and they lost their space, and they spent months going from house to house or wherever they could find a space, and ultimately they kind of gave up, and until one day Munir sent a message to me and Chad. I found this place, and he sent a picture. It's only $5,500. Now we normally don't support buildings as a general rule. Our philosophy is that the local pastor, the local congregation has to support itself. But here's this guy who now basically his church has disintegrated because they haven't had a place to meet through no fault of their own. He sends this message, this space is available, $5,500. And Chad called me and he said, somebody at church this Sunday gave me over $5,500 for Kuandaa. So we were able, in that situation, to do that. And Munir is in the process of finishing up the church right now so that it'll be ready to go. I'm going to stop talking because I have one more video I want you to see, and I do all the talking in that video. And then I'll let you, if you have any questions, and then we'll be done. Okay? This is an Africa video. Well, Kuandaa International is an organization. It's about 12 years old. It's a group of Christian men and women who felt a call to train pastors initially in Uganda in East Africa. And we've been at that at least once a year, often twice a year since that time. We offer training sessions in a 3-year cycle, and at the close of 3 years, the idea is that a pastor would have a basic core of material that they had been trained to do the basic functions of being a pastor. Early on, one of the things that we found happening was the pastors coming to our events would feel a new energy to do more ministry. And right away, church leaders were going out and starting new churches. One thing led to another, and then we had a pastor who decided he was going to start a new church in Kenya. And then somebody else heard about us, and we have moved our program into Pakistan as well. So we're finding some excitement in a lot of areas. We do 3 basic things. We train the pastors, we empower women, we offer Bible studies specifically for women's groups in the communities that we do our training. We included in those Bible studies and that training is some basic health and hygiene information that is taken for granted for women in the U.S., information that women often don't have in other settings. And then we also do some vacation Bible school style classes with the children. That's sort of the basic format of what we do. I started to tell you a moment ago about the new churches that were being started, and that's sort of become where a lot of our energy is going these days. So far, we have planted about 60 churches in Uganda and 20 some in Kenya, another 20 in Pakistan. And in 2025, our plan is for the first time to do training in Nairobi, Kenya, and then travel into Tanzania and do a pastor training event on the island of Zanzibar, which I'm personally really excited about. The biggest thing hindering the effectiveness and the extent of the work we can do is the lack of people and the lack of money. We could go lots more places if we had more people who were willing to go with us, who were willing to come on board and put their shoulder to the wheel, as it were. The other thing is, it's expensive work. We try to keep our costs as low as possible, but right now we have 5 men who work with us in those countries I mentioned, and we provide some support for them monthly. When we can't do that, it affects our ability to do effective ministry.
you would see people who probably never had resources or were fearing to actually go ahead and start churches would be ignited by the resources that the facilitators, our missionaries from the US, were giving. And actually, in countless trainings, Pastor Chad or Pastor Dewey would call and invite people who wanted to plant a church, and you would see people raise their hands, and they would come in front, and they would lay hands on them, and they would tell them, you do not need any permission to start a church. I am giving you a permission, go and start a church.
The training of pastors and leaders in our area is so important. It has caused a great impact upon the body of Christ in Uganda, even in Kenya, because many of our pastors have not had formal trainings, and this has helped them to inspire them to change the way they have been serving God.
Kuandaa International has been a blessing to Africa. Many pastors have been raised, many youth have been encouraged, many young mothers have been encouraged, and they are doing great work in planting the churches. May God bless you.
Okay, Kenneth could be a disc jockey. May God bless you. Here's one more personal thing, and then I'm going to let you see if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, that's fine. I understand Paula cut some cheese a while ago, and there are some snacks. So 2013 is when we started Kuandaa. We have, I've got some handouts that I forgot to get out because I was so excited to see you all. I'll show you what they are, and then you can pick them up. This is my favorite handout. It looks like this. Matt, you'll be familiar with that map. This is the map of where we've been working and what we've been doing. Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, Pakistan, India. I didn't even mention India. There were a couple of us who did a trip to India last December. And actually, I have my Indian friends coming and speaking in my church this weekend. We have 22 churches in Pakistan, 39 in Kenya, 65 in Uganda, although I think Kenya has gone up since we did this, and maybe Uganda too. You opened 2 in July? So anyway, there's that. I'm 62 years old. Now I'm just going to be personal. I'm 62 years old. All my parents and Shannon's parents, both, they're all still living. We think, somebody may contradict me on this, but we think we're the oldest people who still have all our parents. And that's a real blessing for us, because they're cranky, because they're really old, but they're awesome too. But they're not doing well, and Evansville is a long way from where they are. Part of why I'm here, and I'm meeting a lot of people this fall in different parts of Indiana and wherever I can go meet them, because I'm trying to discern if I can retire from the church, like in the next year, and be closer to home and do Kuandaa. So part of what I'm trying to do tonight is to tell you about what we're doing and what kind of success we've had and what we need. We need people to go. There is not anyone in this room who could not be a benefit on one of our trips. Each one of you could make a difference. We could put you to work. True, Matt? And it's people that's going to, lack of people will keep us from being able to fully flesh out the program in Kenya or Tanzania or India or any other place God calls us. But it also is expensive. I said that in the video. We have the 5 staff people. All of our American people are volunteers. Nobody gets any money. But we have 5. We're not supposed to call them staff people, but essentially they work for us. We don't give them a salary, but they get money. We have, a couple of years ago, we purchased a property in Jinja that serves now as our home base. It's a mission house, a retreat house with some dorm space and some classrooms where we've been having training events. It's expensive to run. Here's the most exciting thing, potentially the most exciting thing so far. We were approached earlier this year. You remember I told you about the first time I went to Africa was when I was your pastor in 2007. The leader of that trip was Jim Hurdle. Jim and I stayed in touch through the years, and for a little while, Jim was part of Kuandaa, sort of a partner. We got mad at him, and then we kicked him out and made him mad at us. But earlier this year, Jim came to us and said, I want to give money to start a college, basically, for pastors in Uganda. We're this close, maybe by the time I go to Uganda next month, to having the property, to buying the property to do that. But it's going to cost hundreds of thousands to put that together. So there's a certain amount of me with my hat in my hands tonight asking for support. My goal through this fall is to raise monthly gifts, consistent, people who will give consistently, totaling, I want to say this right because I don't want to discourage anyone. I feel like I'm supposed to raise $1,000 a month. Now, I know that $1,000 a month. I think Morgan could probably do that. $1,000 a month. But that's why I've got 4 meetings like this scheduled. So I know that I'm not raising $1,000 tonight, but boy, I would love it if some of you would be interested, willing. In fact, I would be willing to talk to you privately at a later time I'm probably not going to come up to Hal just to talk to you, Dee. But we could Zoom. We could Zoom. I'll show you my other paper I've got. And you're going to love this one because it's got my big round bald head on it. And there's a cutoff part on the bottom that you can fill out and leave with me if you're interested. It does ask for a commitment on there. If you're not ready to make a commitment and you just want to have a conversation about what that might look like, maybe a monthly thing is not for you, just write a note on there and say, give me a call, and I'll be happy to do that. So I got those two papers. And I have one more thing. It's a card. It's just a reminder card. Here's what you should do with this. You should all take one of these, and I would suggest, since you read your Bible every day, right? I would suggest you use this card as a bookmark in your Bible reading. And then when you get back to where tomorrow, you see, oh, Kuandaa International. I know something about that. I'll say a prayer for them as I'm reading the scripture. I'm pretty sure even if you don't have money to give us, you could do that. If you want to go on one of our trips, I would love to talk to you about that too. If I get to retire, I'm going on 4 trips next year. I'll be going to Africa twice, at least. And then I have to convince my wife. Shannon does not want me to go back to Pakistan, but we need to go back to Pakistan. So maybe you need to pray that Shannon will quit being such a dictator. Or that she would have some peace about safety and then this new program that we're trying to get started in India. And I would love to take any of you on any of those trips with me, if you're interested. Okay, that's my spiel. That's everything. The high pressure is over. Do you have any questions? Well, what do you want to know about safety? Yeah. Yeah, Shannon almost didn't let me go to India because, my friend Peter, who's coming to my church Sunday, he went to India with us. He's from India. He went to Uganda with us a couple of years ago. Peter left India to come to the U.S. to go to Moody Bible for seminary. And he just graduated this spring, and he's formed a nonprofit to go back to India and do ministry in India. And that's why he's coming to my church this week. But he came to our house before we left for Uganda a couple of years ago. And he had on his phone, the very first thing he did when he met Shannon, and Peter is the funniest, he's awesome. The very first thing he did was he got out his phone and showed Shannon this video of somebody throwing a rock, a big rock, at this Christian person and knocked him down, and then all these people are surrounding him, kicking him, and I said, Peter, what in the world are you doing? And we broke up for a few months there, me and Peter, and didn't talk because I was mad at him. There are issues, but we how would you describe safety, Matt?
Uganda, I've never
Yeah.
Any time where I felt unsafe or anything like that?
Security is handled a lot differently in all the countries I've been to than it is here in the U.S. If you go into a shop in Kampala, you're going to go through a metal detector or be wanded by a security guard. There's probably going to be a guy standing at the door with a rifle. Security is a pretty important issue. When you drive into a parking lot, especially at our hotel, where we stay, would be completely gated with 24-hour security. But you drive in to the parking lot, and they got one of those mirror things that looks under your car to make sure you're not bringing a bomb in. So it's pretty secure. Even in Pakistan, which I think was probably the riskiest place I went. Well, I'll give you an answer about Uganda, because I think in Pakistan, and I just don't have as much experience in India yet, but in Africa, Muslims and Christians just live together. And in eastern Uganda and then into Kenya, half or more of the population is Muslim. And since you're here, I'll use this. Usually I use a Baptist as this illustration, but tonight it'll be Presbyterians. Yeah, I think Christians and Muslims, at least in Africa, for the most part, get along like Methodists and Presbyterians do in the U.S. I mean, we know we're different, but we're still people. Yeah, and I don't want to diminish any of that. And our hosts are very careful with us. I don't want to make it seem like they're completely motivated by finances, but just us, a team of people. You remember how it was in Jamaica, for example. A team of missionaries come in. There's an infusion of cash, and and in our mission groups, the folks that Matt and I were just talking about this before we started, they eat better when we're around, because we're not going to eat the good stuff and make them eat something else, so they eat. And so they're taking care of us. That's what I'm trying to say.
But our women's group at our last training facility that we were at, there weren't any children and really any women. It was mainly just all pastors at Rakona. So the 2 days that we were training, the ladies and Micah, who is 14, he is the son of one of the ladies that went. They actually went out into the marketplace and actually did street evangelism and talked to Muslims and said, hey, can I tell you about Jesus Christ? And they said, because I asked, I said, did you feel safe? And they said, surprisingly, yes. And everybody either said, yes, I'll listen, or no, that's okay. And so even just going out into the marketplace and doing street evangelism, and like Dewey said, it seems that Christians and Muslims in Uganda they get along, and there's not really a divide that you really see.
You know what I just realized? This is being live streamed, and nobody knows what's going on. People watching are not here. So later, you're going to have to, Matt, you're going to have to go on YouTube and in the comment section, type up everything you just said so that people will know. Other questions?
I'm curious about that. Back in the day, African University was a big thing. Is that still a thing?
Yes, Africa University is still a thing, and it's very successful. There are what we run into is that Africa's a big place. It's a big place. Now, I drove almost 6 hours to get here today from Evansville. I never thought of Indiana as a big place until I went all the way from Pretty Prairie to Evansville. But Africa, that first trip that I went to, we flew from New York to Cairo, and then Cairo to Kampala, to Entebbe, which is the airport in Uganda. It was like a 6-hour flight from the top of Africa just to the middle. Uganda's about exactly in the middle. So I don't know, why am I talking about how big it is? You said something that made me think, help me, Dave, help me. Oh, Africa University. And you know, it's a traditional, it's kind of a, that's just how it was. I remember that. Africa University is kind of a traditional style university that requires you to be resident, and you know, it's 4 years, and we're talking about basically pastors who need to feed their families, and they have 7 kids that they can't support, and they can't go away to college.
And the expense of just, we take for granted just the expense of traveling, you know, from here, like, you know, for us, from here to Fort Wayne, if you were just to travel from here to Fort Wayne, you know, that may be months and months of savings for them just to be able to afford to go that far. And so that's partially what brought me on board with Kuandaa, was because I came to realize, and Chad helped me see that these people don't have the income to be able to travel, and yet they are so hungry for the word of Christ and the knowledge. And you know, it was neat because this year we graduated 43 graduates out of the 3-year program on our team, and to see those people just get a certificate that says they had completed.
A certificate that we made up.
Yeah, that Chad printed on his computer. But to say that you graduated and took all 18 of our classes was, as I think, as genuine and as exciting as if they would have graduated from Africa University with an actual degree. To just have a piece of paper that said, I've completed the 18 courses by Kuandaa. And so I think, you know, Africa University is still alive and thriving, but it's programs that Dewey had the vision of through Kuandaa, I think that is just as important and meaningful to the people that we're reaching as the universities that they can attend.
I think I heard Matt call Chad a chump. Did anybody else hear him say chump? I mean Chad?
Yeah. I almost said bishop, but.
So there's no confusion about this. What we're teaching is nothing like Africa University. In fact, when we were starting, we try really hard to have pastors doing the pastor training at this point. It's not, we're not sticklers for that, but that's the goal we would like to have. But when we started out and we were recruiting, my pitch was, if you can teach a junior high Sunday school class, you can do this training. And the training is no more specialized or hard than it was then. So, you know, it's, and mostly what pastors leave with, is like the certificates, they leave with motivation. They're encouraged. Somebody cares about them and validates their ministry. Is there one more question? Nope, no more questions. Kuandaa is a Swahili word. It means equip or prepare. Last fall we had a fundraising dinner, and I got this great idea that we were going to get some special t-shirts printed up and offer them for sale. And when the t-shirts came back, they all said in big, they were like neon green shirts and big blue letters. They all said Kuandaa with a G. And Sherry, our treasurer, looked up in Swahili what Kuandaa means. I don't remember what it was. It was something that she tried to put the right spin on it, but it means to prepare. Let me give you this, because we need to be a little spiritual. We are in a church, and we're church people. We have adopted as our vision, our mission is Ephesians 4, 11, and 12. And we have a big circle. That's our illustration, a big circle. And I won't go into all of it, but the passage is, he gave some to be apostles and evangelists, and apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers for the equipping of the saints, for the work of service, for the building up of the body of Christ. That's what we're doing, equipping the saints, Kuandaa, equip, equipping the saints for building up the body of Christ. Can I say a prayer as we close? Don't forget to get these papers. This one especially that means, no, I said I wasn't going to sell it hard anymore. Just make sure you get that paper for sure. Thank you, oh God, for being with us tonight. Thank you for the opportunity to share the work you're doing through Kuandaa. Thank you for this reunion. It's been good for my soul, Lord. I thank you for these people and pray that you would work in our hearts, that you would help us to discern your call on our lives. Strengthen us and keep us safe as we fellowship and as we travel home. In Jesus' name, amen.